Pregame.com.
And welcome back to Pregame.tv. NFL play. Already got the New Orleans Saints from Brian and Marco, and it's going to be my play.
The Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't want to be playing both sides here. We've learned that lesson, huh?
Yeah, there you go. I want to get on another play. Washington at home coming off the blowout loss against Denver in a game that was much closer than the final score indicated. Outside of that fourth quarter, Washington was in that game. And, of course, this week they're hosting San Diego. Chargers coming off a bye. I
actually was one of the guys that had the 13 with Washington in that game. It was looking good. In fact, if you had the under in that game, was it 7 points close to halftime? I mean,
it's unbelievable.
On a game lined at 60. It used to be, if a game was lined at 51, it was automatic buy. You played the under. Now we're getting up to 60 in the NFL. It's not our father's NFL.
No, there's no doubt. And, Brian, if you go back to a couple of the games that Denver played, when you see the final score, and if you watch, say, the first 2.5 quarters, there's no way Denver is going to cover, the game's going to go over, and we've seen that several times. The Giants-Denver game, 17-16, third quarter. Next thing you know, they blow them out. They find a way to just keep expanding and riding that momentum like they did last week. And when you saw the Skins get back-to-back defensive scores to open it up 21-7 in the third quarter, if you had the 12 or 13 or whatever it was, I know it closed at 11, but you're sitting fat. You're thinking, God, I got this one.
Yeah, that's why they play 4 quarters, I guess.
That's it, no doubt about it. All right, any opinions from you as far as Washington-San Diego? I'm actually looking at the total in this game, which right now is sitting at 51.5.
I'm looking at the total also, and I got a feeling we may be against each other in this one. My thought process is you've got the Chargers have gone back to the East Coast. They haven't been that high-scoring of games, but take a look at some of these offensive they had played. I mean, they played Tennessee, they played Philadelphia, Jacksonville. Philadelphia, hit and miss. I mean, they've been probably the most inconsistent offense all season long. And we know Washington could put points on the board. I do have concerns about the Washington special teams. I mean, they have not played well this year. Dallas, they probably outplayed Dallas, and special teams is what won that game for Dallas. Mm-hmm. But when I take a look, I do a lot with yards per play. And you've got your league average, and right now San Diego is above league average in yards per play. The defense is way below average, and same with Washington. The offense is good, the defense is bad. Obviously, we're looking at a line in the 51 range. 51, if it could ever say it's a key number,
right.
I think 51 is a very important number. So depending on which side you like, either my side or the side you may represent here, you always want to shop around for the line on something like that.
There you go. You know I'm representing, and I'm going to get to it, but you're leaning towards the over in this game.
I kind of like the over in this game.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's what makes, good TV, and, same thing as far as handicapping, stuff like that. I like to sometimes, debate, because sometimes Chuck and I do that, and we find out a little insight from the other guy and maybe pick up something that we missed initially.
Yep. Obviously, I like people to disagree with me, and I think you learn more. Because a lot of times when you're betting, you said, this is the side, and you don't even think about the other side. And the guy said, well, did you realize? And then they go through, and then you give it a second thought. And number one, it either takes you off of a game, mm-hmm. or it makes your point stronger because you realize that what he said you've already taken into account. So, I always like to go against other people. And plus, like you said, it makes good videos.
It's good stuff. Well, regardless how Mr. Leonard feels, I'm going to stick with my britches over here, and I'm going to make this play official. All right, so I'm going to go the opposite way from my good pal Bryan Leonard. I'm going to go under, and the best number I got today was 51.5. And here's why. 7-0 Skins near the end of the first half against Denver. I know Denver should have scored, in the first quarter. The way they play at home, they usually put up 24 by halftime. But I like the way Washington is running the ball with Alfred Morris. His last 2 games, 95+ in both those games against the Bears and against the Broncos. And I know Shanahan was really trying to establish the run, and had they not had Denver come back with just a burst where they actually fell behind by double digits themselves, they probably would have stayed to that game plan and ran the ball a lot more and shortened the game against Denver. And I think they'll try and shorten the game against San Diego. The Chargers, on the other hand, coming off the bye, Phillip Rivers, he's been awesome. When you look at his completion ratio, 74% completion ratio, 15 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. So he's taking care of the ball. That's good. But they, too, will try and establish Ryan Matthews. My thing, I'm going to look for Matthews and Morris to get the ball a lot, keep that clock going. If you watch Rivers, he really doesn't throw the ball downfield much. A lot of dink and dunk passes. Royals catching some of those passes. He likes to go to Danny Woodhead. Gates over the middle. Keenan Allen's come up big with a couple plays. And RG3 still really not airing it out down the field outside to Garcon. He likes to use Jordan Reed a lot, the tight end who has replaced Fred Davis. So I'm going to look at this game to see the clock going a lot through the first 4 quarters, because there's going to be a lot of running. And I think you're going to see this game somewhere in the neighborhood of 17-17 as they head to the 4th quarter. And if you look at San Diego's last 3 road games, 17, 17, and 24, and the 24 was against Jacksonville. Yeah, they probably should have put up 38 in that game. They squandered a few opportunities. But again, I don't see this game going over 51.5. I see this game somewhere in the neighborhood of 24-17, maybe even 27-17, right around there, no more than 44, 45 points. It's going to be my play on pregame.tv. Take the under 51.5, Washington at home against San Diego. All right, Bryan Leonard, I don't like going against you because I respect your opinion a lot of times, but I am going to go against you in this case. Somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong, but that's what makes handicapping. And again, I get to, maybe I won't wager as much as I thought I was going to, because I do respect your opinion.
Maybe I can get the 50.5, you can get under 51.5, hits 51, we'll both be happy.
There you go. That's one of those, the win-win situation, no doubt. Well, we'll be back with some more NFL plays. Next up on the docket, Brian's got an awesome 2-team teaser in the NFL. And we'll give you that when we come back on pregame.tv.